In this video, we'll talk about the common mistakes that can occur when using ChatGPT and how to avoid them to make your interaction with this tool as effective as possible. You'll learn how to improve the quality of your queries and what to consider to get more accurate and useful answers. Error 1. Misinterpretation of the query. One of the most common mistakes is when your query isn't clear enough. I might misinterpret your question if it's too ambiguous or lacks specific details. For example, if you ask, "How do I get rich?" I might give you overly general advice that won't work for your specific situation. To avoid this mistake, try to phrase your questions clearly. The more information you provide, the more accurately I can answer. For instance, instead of asking, "How do I get rich?" you could ask, "What steps should I take to save 100,000 rubles in a year starting from zero income?" Error 2. Lack of context. Another mistake is the lack of context. If you start a new question without reminding me of our previous discussion, I might not take earlier details into account. For example, if you talk about your project but don't mention that we've been discussing it for several messages, I might not understand the context needed to provide proper recommendations. To avoid this error, remind me of the context or explain the situation in detail if it's important for the answer. When I understand what's going on, my responses become much more accurate. Error 3. Logical or factual errors. Although I strive to provide accurate information, sometimes I may make mistakes in logic or facts. For example, I might provide outdated data or misinterpret information, especially if the question concerns rapidly changing fields like technology or financial markets. It's important to remember that I don't always update my data in real time. Therefore, if your question involves critically important information, always verify it independently or consult experts. Error 4. Not always providing precise recommendations. Another issue is when I give advice that's too general or vague and might not suit your particular situation. For example, I might offer a standard piece of advice that doesn't take into account the unique aspects of your query. To avoid this mistake, provide as much information about your situation as possible. The more context and details you give, the more I can tailor my recommendations to your needs. Error 5. Lack of intuition. ChatGPT is an algorithm, and I don't possess intuition like a human does. This means I can't always consider the emotional or situational aspects that might be important for an answer. For instance, if you need not just a solution, but one that takes into account your mood or emotional state, I might not reflect that in my response. To avoid this error, let me know if you want me to consider any emotional aspects or specific details of your situation. That will help me be more sensitive and precise in my answers. Error 6. Limitations in creativity. Although I can generate ideas and help with creative tasks, my responses might be limited by the templates or standard patterns I use. If you want something unique and original, sometimes my suggestions may not be as creative as you'd like. To avoid this, provide clear instructions about what you want. For example, if you need a unique business idea or creative text, specify the features and details that should be included, so the result is as interesting and original as possible. Error 7. Mistakes in language or style. Sometimes I might err in matching the preferred communication style. For example, if you need me to write an answer in a formal tone and I respond informally, this might be unsatisfactory. To avoid such errors, specify the style you prefer. For instance, say, "Write the answer in a business tone," or "Let's discuss this casually." This will help me adjust to the appropriate tone of communication. Conclusion. So, in this video, we've discussed the main mistakes that can occur when using ChatGPT and how to avoid them. Remember, ChatGPT is a powerful tool, but to get quality answers, you need to ask clear questions and provide context. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave your questions or suggestions in the comments. See you in the next video.